What is up, YouTube? Marcus, aka Apostle here, bringing you another secret sniper spots and paths video. This time we are doing Watchpoint Gibraltar. Let's get to it. First spot I want to show you is right here on the left side. If you come over here through this door, there is an exit here. It's a pretty good path to take if you're a flanking character like Genji, or basically just anybody who wants to sneak around the backside, maybe Pharah. You can come out this way. You gotta watch because people are very vigilant about this door, and they'll try to hide like over here and wait for you to walk out and then basically ambush you once you walk out the door. I almost always push this door when I'm playing Genji, and I come out this way, and then the first path I'm going to show you is right up here. I wall climb up this wall, come up over here, and then there's usually a sniper or somebody just camping up here watching the main door. And you can come up above them here, drop down, get some sneak damage, and do a lot of damage before they even realize you're there, especially as Genji. You could also do the same thing as Hanzo and get an easy pick, but you do have to be aware that there's people up on this bridge up here that'll snipe you as you're up here if you take too long to get your shot. That's why I like to do it as Genji, because if somebody up here gets sight of you and starts shooting, you could just dash down this way, do some damage over here, drop down, pick up this med pack, and you're in a pretty good spot. You could even head back up and finish off this kill up here if you didn't get it once you get your health back up. The next spot I want to show you is pretty good as Widowmaker. It's kind of a glitch spot. It's right up here. If you grapple and press space to cancel your grapple before you reach the wall, you'll jump and you could land right on this edge here. And the building's going to want to push you off, but you can strafe back and forth in either direction to hold yourself in this position. And then you can keep yourself in a pretty good spot and pick off this door here, pick off people coming out here, watch down there a little bit, and nobody looks up here, and you can just get some easy picks. If you stay still for too long, the building will bop you up into the air like that. So you got to be aware of that. If you stay moving a little bit, it's not gonna push you into the air like it just did. So you can strafe back and forth really slowly like this, and you'll just be able to keep control of where you're at on this building, and it's really just a great hidden spot. Another good Widowmaker spot on offense is right up here. If you come over here and you hop on the tire of this tractor, you kind of have a head glitching spot, especially if you crouch. A lot of people push through this tunnel, especially if the payload's right in this area over here. And you can just get some easy picks, and most people don't really look behind here. They'll maybe try to look for you over here, head glitching this box, or over here in the open, but if you're head glitching this tractor, you really don't have a lot of your body showing, and you can get some easy picks without them realizing that you're there. When I play characters such as Genji, I tend to get stuck in this area a lot because I come down here to pick up a med pack when I have low health, and a lot of the times it'll be gone. And a really good spot you can hide is just right here behind this rock. If you stand here and crouch, you can sit here and wait, especially if you're surrounded and you don't have a lot of health to get out. You can sit here, wait for this med pack to respawn, grab it, and then have enough health to get out of here and go pick up a bigger med pack, or just do a little bit more damage and basically just survive a little bit longer. Next spot I want to show you is an extremely popular spot. You just stand right here. Great spot is Widow to pick off people coming out of this main door, or just watch the payload right out of the gate. You just head glitch this area here, and people have a really hard time hitting you. You can also stand up over here. You have a little bit less of a field of view, but it's still a great area. You can also come to the left over here and head glitch this spot. I like this spot better than the other two spots just because it gives you a more open view, and you could watch the payload more directly from this area here. Another spot that I've never seen anybody using is right on top of the ball here. You can grapple and stand right on top of the ball. Not a lot of people look up here initially, so it's pretty good to get some initial picks. The only problem with this spot is you don't really have any cover, so you don't really want to stay up here for too long, because if they have a good Widow or a good Hanzo, you're going to get picked. There's not a lot of strafing room. If you see somebody looking at you, it's a good idea to just drop back down here. You can pick them off, and then you can head right back up here and get this nice view onto this door, onto some people up here, and onto some flankers that are going to push the area that I just showed you. But once again, you are in the open, so be aware of anybody that has their sights on you. Another good Widowmaker spot for offense is right up here on this. It looks like a boat under this cover here, but if you stand on the front of the boat or whatever this is under here, you can get a pretty good view of this upper area where a lot of snipers like to camp. A lot of people use this box as cover and pop in and out of this door and take shots, so you can get an easy pick here on an enemy sniper without them noticing you're here. They don't have a good shot on you because this boat provides pretty good cover, especially if you're crouching. You can get that headshot still. You can't really get the easy body shots because the boat blocks you, but you still have good opportunity to get the headshot. And if you really need that last shot on the low enemy, you can just walk right up and you can get that easy body shot if you're struggling to get the headshot. Another survival strategy I want to show you is right over here in this room. There's this large med pack in here, and a lot of fights take place in here as you and your enemies often push for this med pack because it's the only large med pack in the area. So a lot of times you're fighting over this room, and I've had times where I'm Hanzo or I'm Genji and I'm in a fight and I'm losing and I really just need a quick escape, and I wall run up this wall here, and you can just sit right up here and nobody looks up here. They expect you to jump up and then jump back down on the other side, and if you just stand up here and sit up here and wait for the med pack to respawn, usually they'll spend a lot of time looking for you and won't realize that you're up here. And it's really just a great spot to hide if you're in a really bad situation. You can also get on top of this other mainframe here. It really depends on the circumstances and where you're placed. You can use it as pretty good cover, especially if you're crouched. They have to be pretty far away from you to try to hit you, and then if they do see you, you can drop back down. Then they'll have to come closer, and then you could wall run yourself back up, and then they have to get back far again because they can't see you, and you can just play this game of cat and mouse until the med pack respawns, and you can either get out of there alive or have enough health to 1v1 whoever you're fighting. This next spot isn't terribly useful, but if you're creative, you can make good use out of it. It's right here if you grapple, or I recommend using it as Farah since she has a good escape. If you just get right on top of this rock up here, you can sit here, and not a lot of people are going to expect you to be on this rock. They're going to expect you to either be on the ground or be on top of this building. So a lot of the time they're going to be looking either too high or too low. So that allows you to get an easy 1 or 2 shots off before they realize you're here. And then if you're Farah or Junkrat, you can boost up and get out of here really quick. Or you can use your mind as Junkrat and boost yourself out of the way, either to the left over here back by your team or into the air and try to land up there. If you come back down this way, I've noticed that a lot of people don't really watch this path in here other than maybe an enemy Symmetra. So be aware if you have an enemy Symmetra on the team. A lot of them will put a lot of their turrets in here just to cut off the flank. But other than that, if they don't have it, not a lot of people sit down here, and you could really just push up behind the enemy team here. And if you're Genji, you could walk just right through, get some easy picks, especially if the payload's in this area right here. Everybody's going to be looking this way, and you can come up behind them, get some easy damage, maybe get a pick, and if you're really in a sticky situation, you could use your dash to get up there. And it's really just a great area to flank from, as most people don't expect you to come from this way. Even if they are watching this room, most people are waiting for people to come down this stairway, and you can get some easy shots and just be a distraction and a nuisance. Just pop up if somebody's watching it right there, get a couple easy shots. By the time they realize that you're there, they'll maybe get 1 or 2 shots on you, but then you could just back down and then go down into this room over here and get the med pack that's located in the corner right there, and then come back up, just be a nuisance and really get in the mind of the enemy team. And I feel like this path really helps with just breaking this hard choke point that a lot of people get in this area here. The reason this choke point's so hard to break is because there's a lot of good snipers that like to sit up on this balcony here, and they're really tough to kill. As Genji, what I like to do is I like to run up this wall here, and once I'm in the air high enough, I will jump off, maybe throw some shurikens if I can get the shot, but I'll jump off, dash to the sniper, and just be a distraction. And if not, I could just kill him, and that would be even better than being a distraction. But it really helps to distract that enemy sniper. I really think that running up this wall here is a great path to take to distract the enemy sniper, especially if you come through this way. It's just so quick to get past all the enemy team that's going to be sitting right here and hop right onto the sniper without them realizing that you're there. Once again, these tractors come in good use, as most people don't really use them for head glitches. You can really just pop out and get some easy picks here. A lot of people like to sit up there, and you can watch people that are pushing this room here. If the offensive team gets control of this room, it's really big for them since that is the room with the large med pack in it, and if you get some picks as they're running out, it's really useful, especially if that person has just picked up the med pack and you basically just pick them off and that med pack is down for a good amount of time, and it really just sets off a snowball effect for holding this point here. Inside this building on defense, if you notice that your team has control of this area here and a lot of your teammates are just located behind this generator, I've noticed it's particularly useful as Junkrat. You can jump up here and sit up here and wait, and a lot of people will use this generator as cover, as a barrier between your team and their team, and will really be focused on this exit and that exit and won't realize that you're up here, and they'll walk and they'll be just strafing back and forth, and you can just get some easy Junkrat direct hits and really just demolish a lot of the easier, squishier characters, or get some great damage on a lot of the tankier characters. I do recommend saving your landmine as Junkrat just because you don't really have an easy escape, and your landmine is really your only way out of here if they do notice that you're here. Overall in this room, keeping control of the top of this spaceship is really important to keep control of this room in general, and either push the payload or lock down this area so that the enemy team can't push down the payload. From up here, if they haven't pushed past these doors yet, you really have sight of all 4 doors that they can come through, and you can really just lock them down easily from up here and just fire Junkrat grenades, fire Farah rockets, and just really easily lock down all 4 of these doors here. As a Widow, I like to come back here and use this aircraft wing as cover from the bottom door, and you could peek here and you can get a lot of easy picks as they're funneling through this door, and you have a great vantage point on both of these doors here, and you can get some easy picks since they're all just going to be funneling through these doors, and you can just shut down this right side really easily as a Widowmaker and do some major damage from here. You could do the same thing on the left side, but I feel like this side's more useful just because you can't see this bottom door from here. There's a lot of cover here, and it's really just a strong point for the enemy to push from, and you really just have control of this top door from here, unless you can get some easy picks here. Unless you can get some picks here, which is a lot harder because they're going to be moving this way instead of running directly towards you through this doorway here. A better spot I like to use for watching the left side is right down here. If you hug this wall here, you can use this yellow barrier as cover, and you can pop out, get some shots on the people walking through these doors. And if you notice that your team needs help on the right side, you can pop out, get some easy shots, and if you take damage, you can just fall back. Try to hug the wall because this yellow thing here really gives you good cover, and you can just fall back, come back in the spaceship, pick up a med pack, and get back out here to do some damage. From this area here, you can cover the top right entrance. If you just pop out here, you can use this doorway as cover and get some easy picks from here, and if they push in farther than you want them to, you just need to strafe left, and you could just cover this entire platform up here from this area, and they have a really hard time hitting you, especially because if they do hit you, all you have to do is just strafe to the right and you're back behind cover. And there's also a med pack right here if you do take a little bit of damage, so you can really just hold this spot down really efficiently from this area. You could do the same thing with this left door here, just strafe to the left, use the left door to watch this whole upper platform here, and it's really just a great location. Something you want to be really aware of if you are camping this location up here is if you push up this way, there is a large med pack right down here, so if you're getting chased and you have them down to a low amount of health, or if you're hurt, you can just jump down, land on this med pack, which will either increase your chances of surviving and getting out of there, or if they're low health, you can turn around and start to do some major damage to them, as usually they'll chase you because you're low health, and be surprised when you come back out and you have full health, and they'll be trapped in this room essentially, and you'll be able to do some good damage and usually get a pick off of them if they're really heavily chasing you. If you're pushing this last area on offense, a lot of snipers like to sit up on this area here and do some damage through this doorway. This spot's pretty good for that, but the only problem is you're kind of in a tunnel here, so if somebody pushes you from this area, you're kind of trapped and you're just really funneling through this doorway. You don't have a lot of movement and you could take a lot of damage easy. But a lot of people do use this area efficiently. What I like to do is Genji to counter this area is push up through here. You can push through this room and you could use your dash to get through faster. I don't recommend using your dash unless you absolutely have to. If you can get into this room and you took some damage, you can get this large med pack here, get out, and you could climb this wall, come up this way, and just easily pick off the sniper that's sitting up here. And once that sniper's down, your team could push a lot easier, and then you have control of this area up here, so you can pop out, do some damage from behind, especially if there's like an enemy Reinhardt. You can really mess him up because he's going to have to watch your team coming from this area over here, and his back's going to be turned to you, so you can do some major damage. And if he turns around, then your teammates are going to be behind him, and then he's basically just in a really crappy position at that point, and you can almost guaranteed to pick the Reinhardt or at least get him to push back into a corner. Once you're outside here, it's really hard to break the defense of this last area as the spawn is so close. So a lot of teams get stuck over here. You really have to utilize flanking characters like Genji or Farah to come around this way, come up over this building here, and you can just come right up over this little red bar and be right behind their team. A lot of people like to sit up here and watch for people walking around this corner. If you're a Widow and you come this way, you can get an easy headshot here. you can come around, and then a lot of people will be sitting directly below you. It's a great area to break Torbjorn turrets, as Torbjorn usually pushes his turrets right down here. And you can come down, get some easy shots, and then just use this as cover and pop back and forth, take out the turret, and then if you're really low health, all you have to do is just jump right back up over here. There's a med pack right here, and there's a med pack directly in this building below us. So you're really in a good spot to just jump back and forth and be a major distraction. I really like to push this area when I'm playing Pharah because it really just offers a lot of control. You can get some easy direct hits with your rockets, as people don't really look back here too often, especially if you pick off the people that are sitting up here or the people that are sitting back here. You're really just in a great location to do some major damage. There's a couple platforms that I don't really see anybody using. They're not super useful because you don't have any cover. The first one is right here. You can get some nice shots, and the only cover you really have is the floor, so utilizing your crouch here is really effective. But once again, you don't really have a whole lot of cover that could still headshot you, and this is really just a spot that you want to use to get some easy damage and get out of here before they can damage you. You can also come up over here into this corner and sit up here. You can shoot right through this area here, get some picks, which is nice to use. But other than this little hole here, this area is not too useful. You can kind of use this pole as cover, but you have to be really careful because you just fall right off the building if you strafe too far. When pushing on offense, I find this right side here is a great area to try to keep control of, just because you have control of this large med pack. You have control of this high ground up here, so you can get some shots off easily. You have a good amount of cover here. You can push through this flank here and pick up this little med pack. It's really just an essential area to keep control of when you want to push this last point here. You really increase your survivability from staying in this area, as there's this large med pack here and the little med pack here. And if you really need to get out of here, you can drop down here, walk down this way, and get the med pack right down there. Coming back to this spot over here, you can use this spot on offense as well. If you just use this as cover, it's a little bit easier to stay on the platform. And from up here, you have a little bit of a vantage point. You can get some shots off down here, kill anybody that's sitting up here, but it's still really not that great of an area. I just wanted to show you guys the offensive uses for this area. As any character, you could really use these platforms here as head glitches. If you stand here, you don't really have a good effect of a body shot, but if you're a Widow, you can get some easy headshots here, and you're really not showing yourself at all, and you can just crouch up and down, get some picks maybe if you have a good shot, and you can hit those headshots effectively. The more you back up, the more you can see of the enemy, and it's a little bit easier to get some shots. And just remember that all you have to do is walk forward to get some extra cover, and don't forget to use your crouch to make better use of this cover here. You can also use this ramp here, but you don't really have as much cover when head glitching, and I really recommend just walking back and forth, as you can get the same effect as walking left and right. However, if you do come on the other side of this ramp, you do have some cover here, which is a lot better. You can still get some headshots and some body shots easily, and it offers a pretty good vantage point. The last spot I want to show you is actually two spots. It's right up here on this launch pad. If you stand on this corner, you can snipe from here as a Widowmaker. It's a pretty good vantage point from up here, but at the same time, you don't really have a lot of cover. Even if you drop down, you still don't have any cover, but it's easy to get some picks off of here, and you can come around to the other side over here, which is the second spot I was talking about. Do the same thing. This side's a little bit better because if you drop down, you have a little bit more cover based on this, and you have this little med pack here. So you can usually make pretty good use out of this side here. I recommend using the left side more than the right side, just because it seems more advantageous with the med pack here and the extra cover. Anyways guys, that is all the spots I have for you on Watchpoint Gibraltar. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're looking for more content, click either the thumbnails here or check out my live stream down in the description below. I try to stream daily, so be sure to check that out. Anyways, I hope you guys find these spots useful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.